Hello, and welcome back to the Queenly Conversations podcast, a space where we learn from our collective journeys, lean into our individual greatness, and level up for the win. I'm your host, Shanita Newton, and as always, thank you for joining me for another episode. Hey family, today's episode is about grief. For those of you who know my story, and for those of you who don't, on October 29th, 2016, I got married to an amazing man, Mr. Herbert Bernard Newton. 2.5 short years later, the Lord called him home suddenly. And so I'm approaching what would have been our 6th wedding anniversary. And I'm going to be completely transparent with you. So far, this month has been full of accomplishments. It's been busy. We've had we hit a few milestones, but it's also been just kind of heavy. And I've really been working to navigate through it. I get anxious when I know this day is coming. It is a trigger for me. The grief is grieving, okay? And so I just want to share a few things to encourage you, anyone else that's on this journey of just healing and navigating through your grief, because at some point, we all lose someone that's close to us. And so I just want to encourage you that you're not alone. So like I was saying, I am just being very intentional about allowing God to heal my heart and helping me and molding me into the person that He called and created me to be. And I can attest firsthand that we don't know how much time we have in this life. So I'm allowing God to give me beauty for my ashes and to take my broken pieces and to mend me back together into someone who is stronger, to allow my story to give Him glory and fulfill my purpose. So one of the things I'm still working on is recognizing and then navigating my triggers. Simply put, a grief trigger is anything that brings up memories of a loss that has happened to you. And for me, they include birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, milestones, but they also include things like television shows and music. Proud moment, a song that's an absolute favorite of mine, but would bring me to tears after Bernard passed. While it still saddens me, I am able to listen to it now and reflect on the time that we had together. And it serves as a reminder that while he's not here physically, he's still with me in spirit. So I've been working with my therapist to be able to navigate my triggers, because dates come. And we want dates to continue to come because that means we're still here, we're still breathing, we are still yet living. But for me, it's been important to learn how to navigate my triggers in a way that is not self-destructive. And without help, without a therapist or someone to guide you through that process, it can be hard to pull yourself out of that dark place. There are days when I am triggered, where I just want to lay in bed. And on some days, I allow myself to do just that. Then there are other days like today where I choose to channel this energy and do something constructive, something that will help me to release, but also contribute to those around me. So today I'm recording this podcast episode because there are so many people that are grieving the loss of a loved one. And specifically, there are so many widows that are trying to navigate what life looks like for them now, how they're now going to raise their children without their partner. And it's difficult, but I'm here to encourage and let you know you are not alone and you can do this. I'm beyond grateful for my son. He keeps me going. He is my why. But to be honest, raising Harrison to be a man is triggering. I am reminded that his dad is not here. And because I'm not a man, there's so many things that I don't even know that I don't know, that I'm supposed to teach him as a man, and things that I cannot impart to him. I can teach him to be a good person, but I can't teach him how to be a man. And I'm fully aware of that. And so it hurts that his dad isn't here. But God is faithful, y'all. I'm really grateful for my village and my partner, my love. They help me navigate what it means to raise him to be a king. And that's one other thing I'll say. So one of the biggest lessons I learned is that I can love and grieve at the same time. So y'all, I'm going to tell you how good God is. I've fallen in love with an amazing man. He is gifted. He motivates me, encourages me. He covers Harrison and I. He's handsome. He think he's funny. And he matches my energy. And he's amazing with Harrison. He teaches him things that I could not do as a woman. And I love him, and I'm so grateful for him. He is a partner and a friend, and I'm just appreciative of him in my life. But I had to reconcile within myself the fact that it was okay for me to fall in love again, that it was okay for me to have someone amazing in my life, and that my love that I have for my partner and the grief that I still experience for my late husband can coexist, and that one does not diminish or take away from the other. On the flip side, I learned that being in love does not make me impervious to grief, that because my heart is healing and because I have a partner and I'm in love with him does not make the grief go away. It does not shut off just because I'm in a relationship. Because the reality is that you will grieve as long as you're alive. You won't get over the loss of a loved one, but you learn how to navigate and live with it. You'll heal and you'll be able to move forward, but you don't get over it. It isn't something that you get over. There is no statute of limitation on grief. You don't just grieve for a year or 2 years or 3 years and you look up and you're like, okay, well, I'm done grieving now. Grief is the price that we pay for love. It means that someone made an impact on our lives and will forever be in our hearts. So I'll share this last thing with you really quickly. For anyone who is grieving the loss of a loved one, make sure that you take the space that you need for yourself when you need it. So if you need to skip an event, if you need to not attend a birthday party, make sure you allow yourself the space when you don't feel up to being around people or to doing anything in particular. If you need the time to grieve alone, that's fine. But be better than me. I need you to be unapologetic about taking the space that you need. Because if you allow people to, they will dictate how they think you should grieve. Listen. No one who has not walked in your shoes, and even people who have had similar experiences to you, have the right. No one has the right to tell you how to grieve because your grieving process is your grieving process. Now, I don't want you to be self-destructive, but I will say that if you don't feel like doing something because you had a rough day, then don't do it. If you need a minute, then you need a minute. And unless they are going to walk in your shoes, which they cannot, no one has the right to dictate how, when, and how long you should grieve. Love yourself enough to take the time that you need. I'm also encouraging myself because as a reformed people pleaser, I have the tendency to put people's needs above my own. But this season of my life is called taking care of me and mine. So if you see me on October 29th in the streets, just throw me a head nod or give me a hug. Let me know you think about me. But if you don't see me, know that I am taking the space that I need to take care of myself, to grieve, to love on myself and my son, and I'm okay. I leave you with this thought today. It's by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler. The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You'll learn to live with it. You will heal, and you will rebuild yourself around the loss you have suffered. You will be whole again, but you will never be the same. Nor should you be the same, nor would you want to. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Queenly Conversations podcast. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you are using to listen in today. It helps other queens to find and join our tribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Queenly_Convos. That's QUEENLY_CONVOS. Until next time, continue to shine, Queen. Talk to you soon.